What up, y'all? It's your man DJ Poison coming to you live right now from New York. I got my man Zombie in the building.
What up, everybody?
And today we gonna talk about a lot of different things from entertainment, the usual, politics, Muhammad Ali Doctor, Sylvester Stallone, and LiAngelo Ball.
Man, they can't just... I mean, I understand other celebrities, but Sylvester Stallone, man, come on. That's Rocky. It's Rocky, man.
Now, GQ magazine named Colin Kaepernick Citizen of the Year. And
Bullshit.
in case you weren't familiar with Colin Kaepernick, Colin decided to protest the injustice of African Americans in America by being the first player to kneel during the national anthem. So why would GQ name Kaepernick Citizen of the Year?
That confuses me because, all right, so I decided to put myself in Colin Kaepernick's shoes. You know, I wanted to find out what the hype was all about. You got two sides to every story, you know? So I'm like, you know what? Let me do some research. And it turns out
Right.
what his main focus was police brutality against minorities in the U.S. But to me, the way he went about it was wrong. You know, I understand you have a platform to use, you know, because you're in the NFL and stuff like that. And, you know, he did say that the American flag was a symbol of oppression towards minorities, which is complete bullcrap. But it's all about how you present yourself. Because in a couple interviews, like he had a press conference, he wore a shirt that had Che Guevara on it. You know, he was a communist dictator who killed thousands of people. Yeah. He's not exactly, you know, a representation of what freedom is.
Right.
And at
well, I don't think we're talking about what the representation of freedom is.
No, because it's all about your appearance. If you want to be a hero to these people, you have to look the part. And in practice, he's wearing socks that depict cops as pigs. You know.
Well, I don't think his intentions are to depict cops as pigs. I think his intention is to say, hey, look, you know, African Americans in America are not treated fairly, and somebody needs to take a stand. And I'm going to kneel during NFL games because it seemed like everything else we're doing, nobody's hearing us.
But he's not doing it in a sort of way where.
And obviously, what he did worked.
He's not winning the hearts and minds of people. That's the thing.
Because of the way he's going about it.
Yes, because of how he's presenting himself while doing it. Now you see,
but that's what I'm saying. I don't see anything wrong with that because you know, like people say all the time. You know, if you're going to protest, do it peacefully. This is a peaceful protest. And what law is saying that you can't kneel?
I could protest peacefully, and I could hold up a sign that says, you know, fuck the police. But is it really the right thing to say?
He didn't hold up a sign that said fuck the police.
No,
he simply kneeled.
I'm making an example. He didn't simply kneel. He wore socks that depicted cops as pigs and wanted, you know, the press, the media to see it. Now, if you don't like cops, that makes sense. All right, you got people, you know, you got minorities who are, you know, being oppressed by, you know, cops. All right, I could roll with that, you know. But let's look at Martin Luther King. You know, he wanted everybody to come together as one in a loving manner.
Right.
You know, but you have a couple people who want to do it another way, where it's like, oh no, fuck the police and fuck the establishment and fuck everything else. Instead of saying, you know what, let's all come together and explore this problem together so that we can fix it.
Okay, look. Okay, so you're shooting out a solution. So tell me, what would you do?
What I would do. All right. So if I was in Colin Kaepernick's shoes, and I had the NFL platform, and I was dead set on kneeling for the national anthem. Okay, I kneel for the national anthem, and after everybody vents to me, like, oh, Colin Kaepernick, you're a fucking scumbag. Oh, you know, we hate you because you wanted to kneel. All right. Now that I have your attention, let me talk. You know what I'm saying? So now that I have your attention, I believe that there is.
But what he's doing is I mean, what he did is he basically everything that he's doing, right? And for him to lose his job for it, that's a problem. And that's saying to me that's a problem in America as well, because like I said, you could take the same person and, you know, let him be white and let him do the same thing, and I guarantee you he won't lose his job for it. Or let him, you know, speak about it at work, or, you know, have a protest in Charlottesville, and, you know, and have hate groups, and, you know, like I said, they're praised for it. But as soon as Colin Kaepernick does something, you know, peacefully, you know, he's looked at as somebody that doesn't, you know, love his country.
Now I understand where you're coming from on that, and here's how I see it. You know, I haven't seen a a matter or a fact of anyone else losing their job over a protest using their.
Colin Kaepernick, you just did.
No. That's what I'm getting to. Like, he's the first one.
Okay.
Using his job as a
because
platform.
he's the first one that that's able to do that on a mass.
Yeah. So if you understand,
if I had a job and I went to my job, for example, let's say I hypothetically worked in security in a government building, right? And every morning we stood up for the Pledge of Allegiance, and while everybody was standing up, I sat down and I didn't put my hand on my chest. I guarantee you I wouldn't be working there that long.
I understand, and you have to accept.
And if they don't fire me for not saying the Pledge of Allegiance, they're gonna run me out.
You see they can't fire you for that.
Exactly, but they can run you out, and they can make your life hell while you're at work and make you want to quit.
The NFL is a different story. The NFL is a spectator sport. So if you're losing ratings because one guy is causing problems, but they're thinking of the money.
Exactly, and guess what? If you hit them where it hurts, I guarantee people start talking about it, and that's what happened.
Yeah, they got rid of him.
He hit him where it hurts, exactly, and they got rid of him. But my whole point is that right? No, it's not.
But you have to assume the risk, even if it's right or if it's wrong. You can sit here all day and tell me that it's wrong. He got fired. I understand that. I could roll with you on that. But at the end of the day, you have to assume the risk that if you're going to use your platform to make a protest, you have to assume that your superiors are probably not going to agree with you and let you go.
And that's true. And Colin Kaepernick doesn't look like he's fazed by it either. He doesn't like he's fazed by it.
He just got a payday with GQ magazine, so I don't think he's worrying about it too much.
Well, he's probably smart with his money too, but that's beside the fact. The fact is that he took a stand. He kneeled for something that was right. He lost his job over it, and you know what? He probably said, "You know what? Fuck it." He said, "I'd rather lose my job over something that's right than play and not do anything about it at all."
But you know what? That's the glory of that's what's glorious about this country is because you have the right to do whatever you want.
That's true.
And you also have to understand that people have the right to react if they want.
Those repercussions that
there are repercussions for your actions.
But what they did to Colin Kaepernick was just fucking stupid. It was fucking stupid and it was wrong. And he should not have lost his job for fucking kneeling, on the NFL field.
Yeah, well.
And people always say, all the Black Lives Matters, they're militant groups and all this bullshit. But when like I said, back to Charlottesville, when these people do it in Charlottesville, and people get killed during their protests, it's fine. Or Trump calls them, people.
That's why you have
you know what I mean. So when Colin Kaepernick says, "Okay, look, we tried to talk, we tried to have an assembly, that didn't work out well. The police they brought out, what do you call pepper bombs and shit and pepper spray." And start spraying citizens. That didn't work. So let me try to kneel and do it peacefully. It worked. Well, they got people talking about it.
He got people talking about it, but
yes, he lost his job. But look at him now. GQ.
No, but you
Citizen of the Year.
Look.
So no, he doesn't have a job. But
look at it.
Look at all the blessings that came from that.
But let's look at it in another perspective. Everything that he protested isn't backed by statistical facts.
What do you mean?
There's no statistical facts to suggest that systemic racism is an actual thing. You know what I'm saying? You see, here's that's the difference between systemic racism and individual racism. Systemic is when, the system implements itself to make sure that there are laws or policies or regulations even that are put into play to suggest or to make sure that a specific race gets specific privileges.
Okay.
There are no laws, there's nothing to back that up. There's no fact, there's no statistics, nothing. So everything that he's done is based off of what he's seen and is going based off emotion and if
what do you mean it's based off of things that he's seen?
So the media is obviously going to put out, another black person dies by cop. Another black person dies by cop.
Well, yeah, I do believe the media controls 95% of, all the bullshit that's going on.
Exactly.
There's a reason for it, 95% of the bullshit that's going on. But it's not...
But if you dig...
It's not... The media can put out whatever they want. It's simple. A black male killed by a white officer. It's simple.
Everybody loves watching that shit.
You could put out the black male had 10 guns and an AK-47. I don't fucking know. He had a rocket launcher or some shit, right? You can say that. They're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, was he legally carrying those weapons? If he was, hey, So what? He's a black male. He looked dangerous.
Yeah, and that's what people want to talk about.
And that's what's wrong. And that's what Colin Kaepernick is saying. He's saying, look, we have innocent, unarmed black people getting killed by the police. And that's all he's saying. And he's saying it's we need to, we need to somehow make this, But
there's no statistical evidence to suggest at all.
I'm trying to figure out what angle you're coming at when you say
my angle
there's
is
no statistical evidence. Like what do you what kind of statistical evidence are you looking for?
If you run the numbers, all right, I'm sure you'll find that the amount of black people shot by police is significantly lower than the amount of white people shot by police a year.
That's a negative.
Let's look it up.
That's a big negative. That's a big negative right there, man.
All right, Poison. I got you.
And also, let's look at unarmed black people shot by the police.
It's all about what's portrayed on the media.
Man, look, I can go and name, plenty of unarmed black people that were killed by police. Trayvon Martin.
All right,
want me to keep going?
I'm looking it up right now.
Philando Castile. I can keep going. Let me know, Zombie.
I'm trying to find the article.
Look, that's beside the fact of the matter is, look, black people are killed and targeted by white officers. Okay, majority of black people. As a matter of fact, I would say every black person is. Every black person is a target here in America. Where I'm from, West Palm Beach Gardens, there was a study conducted. I mean, the guy that was killed on I-95 right here on the ramp. I forget the officer's name, but the officer was off duty. He had no badge. He wasn't in a marked patrol car. He pulled up to this guy, and the guy's car broke down on I-95 on the ramp coming on the off ramp. So he's standing outside of his car waiting for a ride, waiting to get picked up. And all of a sudden, a guy in a white van pulls up right in front of his hood, in the opposite direction, jumps out, pulls out his weapon. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna fucking take out my gun and shoot.
Okay, but my whole point is, was that right? Was that the right way to handle that situation?
Absolutely not. And,
okay.
And
when you pull someone over, Philando Castile, when you pull someone over and you walk up to their car and the daughter,
Philando Castile is obviously
and the daughter's in the back seat and he got his wife in the passenger seat and he tells the guy, okay, go ahead and give me your wallet. And he reaches for a wallet and pulls out the gun and now he's dead. Is that the right way to handle that situation?
No, but that's an isolated incident. Hold on. That's an isolated incident.
Hold on. Trayvon Martin walking down the street in Orlando. He got Skittles. The security guard says, oh, he looks like he's up to something. I'm gonna go stop and check him out. The police dispatch says no. Don't make contact. Let us get there. Let us handle it. He made contact anyway. He gets in a fight with Trayvon. Trayvon ends up dead. Completely disobeyed a lawful order. Did he go to jail? No. I can keep going on, Zombie.
I can
keep going on.
You can give me all the statistics you want. I'm actually looking for the article right now. That's why
it's not about statistics. It's about
exactly about statistics.
No, it's about what's portrayed. The thing that's going on.
It's about what's portrayed on TV.
The thing is, none of these officers are getting indicted. I just told you 3 different people who were stopped by the police for what, and they ended up dead.
Because so you telling me? Hold on. So you telling me?
Ended up on TV. And also where I'm from, also in Palm Beach Gardens, also the same incident where that ramp happened. I was telling you about on the ramp. Remember I was telling you about it. They did a study on the police department of Palm Beach Gardens. 95% of people they pull over, right? Whether they black or white, 95% of black people that are pulled over issued a citation. You want to know how many white people issued a citation? Under 20% for the same infraction. You don't see anything wrong with that, Zombie?
You
don't see anything wrong with that?
Listen. Less black people are shot by cops a year than white people. And I'm looking for the article right now. You keep talking.
You still looking for the article, right?
I'm still looking for the article.
Okay, that's a long time looking, my brother.
Fucking Google.
That's a long time looking, man. I don't think you're going to find that article. All right? Anyway, while you searching for the article, let's talk about Muhammad Ali. So if you haven't heard by now, Muhammad Ali's doctor, Freddie Pacquiao, had died at the age of 86. Pacquiao, known as the Fight Doctor, died in his Miami home. He is survived by his wife, 4 children, and 2 grandchildren. I just felt the need to bring this up, as Pacquiao to me is a part of history and was a corner man to one of the greatest fighters to ever fight in boxing. Rest in peace to Freddie Pacquiao.
Yeah, he was truly a good cornerman.
Yeah, he was. He was known as the fight doctor of boxing.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of sad because I feel like, a generation, all the legends of our generation are slowly dying off. If you haven't noticed that, right before our eyes.
Because when you and I were young, it's like we looked at these legends like, I want to when I grow up, I want to be a boxer, just like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, yep.
Now we're like older, and it's like
all of them dying off. Like,
they're all dying off
I
now.
feel old, and I'm only 26.
Yeah, I think Mike Tyson is like one of the last prodigies.
Actually, no, of our generation, Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao.
Yeah,
those are the last of our generation.
The issue with Pacquiao is that he's reached his longevity. Yeah, and he's still trying to box.
Yeah, he needs to. When he lost to Floyd Mayweather, that was the perfect time to retire, man. Because people don't understand when you're in combat sports, and it's kind of like the same thing for McGregor. His next fight is gonna be interesting to me because he lost to Floyd Mayweather, but he didn't just lose by unanimous decision. He lost by knockout. So once me being in combat sports for a period of my life, anytime you get a devastating injury like that at an older age, it's pretty hard to bounce back. So Conor McGregor's next fight, it's going to be interesting to me. I want to see how he does.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, wait, what were you saying?
And it's just like Pacquiao when he lost to Floyd.
Yeah.
Remember when he fought Floyd, he was in his prime. He was doing good. He was undefeated. And then after Floyd, he lost again.
Yeah, that's what I like when he lost to Floyd. That was kind of like, his signal. Like, you know what, I'm getting older. And his next fight after that, he got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, he got knocked the fuck.
Like he was out cold, bro.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Like out. Like he was out cold.
Yeah. So read it to the people. So apparently Zombie found this article. Go ahead, read it to the people, man.
So. By now, everyone knows that police, whether consciously or subconsciously, are targeting young black men, killing them at a disproportional rate. But what if everyone is wrong? What if race actually has little causal effect on police shootings? In fact, the data shows just that. If we as a nation can look seriously at the evidence, we can have a much more productive conversation about what's gone wrong and how to fix it. The Washington Post recently ran an article about police killings nationwide in the first half of the year. The story made the same mistake Post reporters have been making for years by comparing the racial composition of those killed with the overall racial composition of the United States. The police have continued to shoot and kill disproportionately large number of black males who account for nearly a quarter of deaths, yet are only 6% of the nation's populations. And those were in quotes.
Yeah, remember.
Those are in quotes.
Remember, African Americans are the minority, not the majority. So keep that in mind, too.
That's a quote.
Okay. All right.
The paper reported. The Post's unspoken assumption is that the police killings should match America's overall demographic statistics. That might sound right at first, but it is well understood in academic circles that using population as a benchmark can be dangerous, because not all people are equally likely to come into confrontation with the police. To borrow an example from Michigan State University researcher Joseph Cesario, I hope I'm not butchering this man's name, an officer is not likely to shoot the cashier selling him a cup of coffee as he is to shoot a citizen with an outstanding warrant he has just pulled over. A few activities from the important to the trivial conform to the Census Bureau's breakdowns of the American population, black people who constitute about 13% of Americans. The Post had to focus on men alone to get the figure. I'm reading the article.
Hold right there. 13% of the population. So obviously, whether you look at whatever way you're looking at it, there's always going to be more whites higher in numbers because they're the majority of the population. Go ahead, continue reading.
The Post had to focus on men alone to get the figure down to 6%. Our 1.4% of doctors, 38% are barbers, 16% are cooks. They account for 14% of the pedestrian fatalities and 74.4% of NBA players, but just 8% of NPR newsroom employees. The media would have Americans believe that race is the single most important and predictive element of fatal encounters between police and civilians.
Yep.
Yet both the basic data and less superficial analysis than the Post's show that is not the case. With a few notable exceptions, violent criminal attacks are best predictor of whom police might shoot in America. Even the post itself has noted the relevant data in the past. In 74% of all fatal police shootings, the individuals had already fired shots, brandished guns, or attacked the person with a weapon or their bare hands. The paper reported in 2015 another 16% of the shootings came after incidents that did not involve firearms or active attacks, but featured other potentially dangerous threats.
Like what? Being black? Go ahead. Continue.
Is that your only argument?
Continue. No, I got more. Go ahead. Continue. Right.
Those figures are consistent with other data in 2015. 2/3 of unarmed people of any race killed by police had been in the process of committing violent crime or property destruction.
Okay, Trayvon Martin, Philando Castile, and the guy in New York who was choked out. I guess they were committing violent crimes, right? Go ahead. Continue. Even though the guy in New York was just reselling cigarettes, but go ahead.
Those are only 3 isolated incidents in a very long period of time.
My whole point is to you, Zombie. My whole point is to you. I'm not saying every situation is going to be. I'm not. What I'm trying to say is I'm not every black person or any person in general. Some people are going to be armed, and not all black people are good. But what I'm saying, the good ones. And the ones who don't pose a threat other than being black are shot and killed at a higher rate than white males or any other race here in America. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that, the majority of people that they come in contact with are armed or commit violent felonies before the act. All I'm saying is that here in America, out of every single race, African Americans are shot and killed more at a higher rate.
So let me ask you a question.
For not doing anything other than being black.
So let me ask you a question. Do you really, really, truly believe that unarmed white people, aren't shot by cops?
I didn't see you missing the point. I didn't say that. What I said was African Americans. Okay, unarmed. Let me rephrase that. Unarmed African Americans are shot more at a higher rate than unarmed white males. Unarmed Asian male, whatever, any other race, they're shot more.
So how come
I can go right now and walk in on 42nd Avenue right now, right, in Louis Vuitton or Barney's, and I guarantee you, somebody's gonna be looking at me like, "Yo, I'm watching you."
Not here in New York City, bro.
I guarantee. Look, okay, maybe not in New York.
Not here in New York City, bro.
Because New York is a melting pot. That excludes New York.
maybe back when we used to live in Florida.
Yeah, in Florida.
Right? Maybe.
Like a Palm Beach equivalent, right? We go shopping on Worth Avenue.
Yeah, maybe.
Like on Worth Avenue, they got like Louis Vuitton, they got Gucci. What's some other fucking high brands? I don't fucking know. I don't shop there.
I know. But here's the thing. There's more documented, instances of, unarmed black men getting shot than there are covered instances of white people getting shot.
Wait, say that. What do you mean?
So say you and I are walking down the street, a black guy and a white guy.
Right.
We're buddies. Yeah, what's up?
Oh, Florida, we go.
Yeah.
Like, what these motherfuckers up to?
A cop comes up.
Yeah.
Decides to shoot you.
Right.
It's reported. You're gonna make the 9 o'clock news.
Of course.
Cop comes up to us. I get shot. Nobody bats a fucking eye.
No. It depends on why you got shot. Now, if you
just said walking down the street, if you unarmed, and a cop comes up to us
if you were just
for no reason.
If you were just simply walking down the street unarmed for no reason, the cop shoots you because he got scared. He thought you was a fucking meth head or something, right? Let's just say that. You're gonna make the news. Trust me.
I'm not.
You're going to make the news. Even if I do, make the news, bro.
Even if I do, nobody will care, and everyone will forget about it. I
wouldn't say nobody would care.
But if you were to get shot, I wouldn't say nobody get shot. But how many times? There would be fucking parades.
How many times in 2017, 2016, 2015 has that happened?
It's not covered by the media as much as if a black person was to get shot.
How many times has that happened? That rarely ever happens, man. Rarely.
You just said you just came up with an argument 5 minutes ago about unarmed black men getting shot.
I'm talking right now about unarmed white people. That rarely ever happens. You rarely ever see an unarmed white person get shot for no reason by a cop.
Often enough.
No, it doesn't. Not more than. But listen, my argument is that African Americans are shot at a higher rate than any other race. Unarmed African Americans.
Find me that statistic, and
I'm not. On the next episode,
I will have
the statistic ready for you, and I will have my source ready for you.
And I will have mine.
By the
way,
for you. That article you were reading, what website is that? What's the source on that?
Oh shit! I just exited out of my phone. Hold on.
All right, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right, so we're gonna get on with our show, guys. Me and Zombie are gonna continue this argument in the next podcast. But rest assured,
and also you don't forget, you can email us with your questions. Let us know whose side you're on, Zombie or myself, DJ Poison. You can email us at thestirreduppodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's the thestirreduppodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, exactly. And don't forget to hit us up on Instagram too. That's actually the easiest way to get in touch with us because we get notifications on our phone. We just hit the little fucking camera button and bam. You know what I'm saying? But just to let y'all know, I still love DJ Poison to death as my homie.
He's still my guy.
So
but you wrong on this one.
You're wrong, motherfucker.
All right, on to Sylvester Stallone.
My man Sly, not Sly.
What's going on in Hollywood, bro?
Bro, everybody's jumping on this bandwagon here.
Dude, okay, look, people,
everybody's jumping on this
bandwagon. In case y'all didn't
bandwagon.
already know, Sylvester Stallone is being accused of sexual harassment by a 16-year-old back in 1986. 1986. Really?
Bro, it's like, this fucking, what's his name? I just saw an article
now hold on.
Al Franken.
The actor was apparently visiting Las Vegas. Now, of course, Stallone says it never happened.
Of course he's going to say it's never happened. It was 21 years ago. It's obviously now starting to come to light because there's a bandwagon going on that Hollywood statistics are getting accused of sexual harassment and rape.
Yeah.
And it's like Sylvester Stallone just wants to, chill, and he's almost close to retiring, and he just wants to hang out. He's old now.
Sly's my guy, man.
Sly, Rocky.
I don't
Rocky
believe
Balboa. Rocky Balboa is being accused of sexual harassment.
I got one word for him.
This man has 2 daughters.
I got one word. Bullshit.
This man has 2 daughters that he loves very much. But I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
He's a really, he does not seem like a guy who would do that.
Well, the majority of people who do stuff like that don't seem like it. But Sylvester Stallone didn't do that. But see, it all goes back to like I said last episode about any fucking person could just come out and say he touched me, and they end up losing all endorsement. The only reason why Sylvester Stallone might not get in trouble for this because it was 1986.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if she said, "Oh, he touched me last month,"
that motherfucker
he be in some deep water. He be in some deep shit.
Yeah, there's gonna be events.
But see that's the problem. Just because somebody says something doesn't mean it's always true. I call complete bullshit on this.
Me too. It's ridiculous. Because after Harvey Weinstein, got his can kicked.
Right.
Now everybody wants a piece of the action.
Right.
Everybody's gonna accuse one of these celebrities of sexual harassment.
I think the first person that started was I forget his name. He's a black actor. The one that played in Friday. He played Debo.
Shit.
I can't think of
not
his
Chris
name.
Tucker, right?
Nah, not Chris Tucker. I have his name next episode, but he was the one he was actually the first male to come out and say he was sexually harassed by another male in Hollywood.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about?
What's his name from Game of Thrones? The Jon Snow is the character. He came out and said that he was the one that came out and said he also came out and said that he was sexually harassed.
For real?
Yeah, and get this.
Oh shit.
Our valiant industry.
He was harassed in Hollywood?
He was harassed in Hollywood. And our valiant industry that is Hollywood told him to shut up. You're a white male. You have privilege. You don't get to say anything like that. It's not true. And then, he couldn't fight that. So he turned around and said, oh, sorry for apologizing for, no. He was like, sorry that I came out and started saying that I was sexually harassed. Bro, it was an article I read about it the other day. It was ridiculous.
So was he sexually harassed or was he not?
I don't know. I'm not Jon Snow.
No, I'm sure he wouldn't fuck around like that because that's nothing to play with.
That's nothing to play with.
Yeah.
So they're now that they're bringing it to my man Sly, it annoys me, So Rocky Balboa, I just want you to know, Zombie believes you. Zombie believes you. Zombie believes that you did not commit these horrendous acts to a 16-year-old girl all those many years ago.
Now, Poison has done a lot of different things in his short life. Myself, I think I started at the age of about 13, and I discovered acting by accident. I thought it was for the LGBTQ community more so, than, you know, a straight individual like myself. I was always into sports, basketball. And, you know, one day in high school, I was just walking down the hall and the drama teacher, you know, who was a gay male, he saw me and he said, "Hey, man," he's like, "you should come and try out." I'm like, "Try out for what?" He said, "You should, you know, come to we're having an acting workshop that I think you'll do really good in." I'm like, "Oh, you know, I'm sorry, sir, but you know,
I'm not your guy."
Yeah, acting. I think you got the wrong one, man. Acting's not one of my things. You know, I've never done it before. He was like, "No, don't worry about it. You know, you look like a natural." I said, "I don't know about that, but okay, man." Anyway, to make a long story short, I never went. I was a freshman at the time. However, the following year I was a sophomore, and somehow I ended up in the guys' class. Now, in Hollywood, you have a lot of individuals who are sexually excited. I'm gonna go ahead and say that, you know, so I don't get in trouble for nothing. But you know, you got a lot of people who are sexually excited. You know, you're in a world where, you know, fashion is you know, on the forefront. You know, sexuality is on the forefront. You know, and it's all about looking good. So you have a lot of sexually excited people in Hollywood. Now, to make a long story short, years later, you know, I acted. You know, I actually got into acting. I actually, you know, fell in love with it. Years later, down the line, I was working at Marshall's, and I was a cashier. I was checking out this guy. He was from Los Angeles, California. Now, at the time, I didn't know this, but I peeped his shirt. He had on a Miami Heat shirt, and you know, me being a Los Angeles Laker fan, I said, "Hey, man, you got on the wrong shirt, bro. Look, I know we in Florida, but it's only right that you rep, you know, the Lakers, man. I'm a Lake guy, man." He's like, you know, okay. So anyway, I sparked up a conversation with this guy, and come to find out, he was actually a producer in Hollywood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he looked at me. He said, "Hey, man, you ever tried acting?" I was like, "Yeah, I act. How do you know?" He was like, "Oh, hey, that's what I do, bro." I'm like, "Okay." So anyway, he gave me his contact information, and at the time, I think I was like 15.
It just portrays out of you, you know? Like, I can act, you know?
I don't know. Well, I was like 15. He was like 30. You know what I mean? So, you know, we exchanged numbers, and it was kind of odd. You know, I didn't think anything of it, but it was always in the back of my mind, hey, maybe this guy's like a weirdo or something, like a creep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, I would hang out with this guy, and you know, he would always talk about what he's about to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, okay, you know, I never put anything past anybody, you know, because that one person who's a nobody could one day become somebody. So I always give everybody the benefit of the doubt, because you never know who's going to become who.
Exactly.
So to make a long story short, I stayed in contact with this guy, and about 4 years later, he actually ended up producing a film called Not for Human Consumption that I was a part of the electrical and camera department on. And I mean, it was a big film. I got to meet, you know, Michael Rispoli from The Sopranos, Nick Thurston from White Irish Drinkers, and you know, it was like my first bout in Hollywood, like, you know, my first time actually seeing how everything worked on a real movie set. And when I tell you, it was fucking crazy. The type of work that goes into a movie set is astronomical, man. Right. So to make a long story short, you know, I was in that film, and then I actually acted in another film in 2016 called Face of the Father. And, you know, that film was cool, but like I said, I can understand why there's so much sexual harassment going on in Hollywood. Yeah. Because it's a industry based off being sexy. Yeah.
It's a sexualized industry.
And not to put it past myself, but I've always been a good looking individual.
DJ Poison.
You know,
that's DJ Poison, everybody.
But yeah, I can see where that.
Yeah, but you know, it's one thing to play the part; it's another thing to actually do it in real life. And there was a lot of
times. I meant to say this too. There was a lot of times when I was on the movie set, I can kind of figure out who was fucking who.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, come on.
The way they'd look at each other.
Yeah, the way they, you know, the on camera chemistry a little too good on the love scenes. You know, you can kind of tell. You could any person that's not stupid can figure out what's going on. Yeah, producer fucking with this person, actress fucking with this other actor.
That's why you always see so many marriages in Hollywood fail.
Yeah, exactly. Because they can't. You gotta think of it like this: when you filming a movie might take 2-3 months. Yeah. You know what I mean? You with this person 24/7. You making love scenes with them. You only see them for 2 or 3 months.
Yep.
So you end up fucking them, and I guess feelings get involved, and
Yeah,
that's how relationships start.
These people actually get naked to do these sex scenes
too. They actually get naked. I mean, it's a closed set. Only certain individuals allowed in the room, but they actually are naked. You know, on these scenes.
And I don't know. That wouldn't sit too well with my significant other.
Nah, man. Nah.
Even if it was just for a movie.
Nope.
You know.
All right, now I want to talk about LiAngelo Ball. Now, if you weren't aware of Ball's China incident, him and a few other teammates were caught stealing in a Louis Vuitton store in China. Ball and said teammates were arrested and held in China until POTUS apparently asked the president of China to release them. Now, Ball and teammates were released. However, President Trump stated he should be thanked for getting them released. Reverend Al Sharpton seems to agree. Thoughts?
I mean, if you're going to get caught stealing in another country, you have to automatically assume that country is going to, hold you accountable in the worst ways because, their laws are obviously different. But I think it was actually kind of virtuous of Trump to, ask to get his American men back. Hey, if I understand he did this, but true. Let me get him back.
Yeah,
and President
of
China,
American citizen.
Yeah, China was like, okay, sure. Because Trump's a businessman, so he probably worked out some sort of deal.
Yeah,
you do this for me, and you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually how it works. Because China is communist.
I feel like this incident could put Trump in a different light. I feel like that if Trump shows that he's for all people, this could possibly change his relationship with the African American community. Because right now his relationship is not so good with the African American community. But I feel like this is a start. And even Reverend Al Sharpton said the same thing. Don't consider us friends, quote unquote. But what he did was very, I respect it.
Yeah.
Al Sharpton's words. Now, I don't know if Trump is just doing this because, those articles of impeachment are out against him. But, hey, stop looking at Rihanna, okay?
Nobody's looking at Rihanna. What the hell are you talking about?
LiAngelo in China.
All right, so I don't really like Reverend Al Sharpton. I think he's a big piece of shit. I'm sorry, Reverend. You're not a reverend at all. You're a virtue signaler, and you hate cops, and you hate people. So that disqualifies you to even have the title Reverend. But I digress. Anyway, so he went on he went on the press conference and it was like, I want to thank Donald Trump for getting me out of that. And
which is it's only right.
It's only a huge limelight because,
but it's only right, man. I mean, they got him out of a China prison.
Yeah, you have to.
And China prisons ain't nothing like American prisons.
None like American prisons.
So that that was only right for him to thank Trump.
Yeah. So
like I said, you cannot like Trump for his many berated insults, but what he did was just it was what do you call it when like a veteran?
It was virtuous.
It was patriotism.
Yeah,
it's very
let me get my Americans back.
Right. Yeah, he's an American. I'm gonna fight for my Americans. So I thought that was real.
Not to mention, the NBA player had his entire NBA platform.
This is what I understand. Why the fuck is LiAngelo Ball still in his brother playing the NBA? The fuck, man.
Who knows?
You telling me that man can't buy Louis Vuitton glasses?
Right? Like
his brother just signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. Go to your brother's house and steal them shits, man.
Not even, bro. He could go to like Beverly Hills, California, and buy it.
I mean,
with
shit.
A black card.
Look. If you, he probably ain't got no black card yet. But look, man. If you and your teammates want to steal some Louis Vuitton glasses, all you gotta do is go to your brother's house, steal his shit. That's all you gotta do, man.
Hey, bro, can I borrow this? No, too bad.
You know what I'm saying? and that might affect his draft position too in the NBA.
Yes, because now, teams are going to look at him like, oh, he's a criminal. Even though Trump was, brought him back, some teams might look at him now like, oh, hey, you're a criminal. I don't want you on my team.
And I believe he's suspended indefinitely now.
Really?
With the NCAA, yeah. After the incident. So you got to ask yourself, was it really worth it?
Is stealing really, really worth it? I mean, let me tell you guys a story. All right, let me tell you a story about Zombie. Zombie, for nearly the entire working part of his life, worked loss prevention in retail stores. Now, let me tell you some of the excuses these people come up with, man. It's ridiculous. And I worked in Times Square, for a long amount of time. And even the most like virtuous of people who appear to be, like just a great person altogether,
right.
They come in and they steal. And they don't even know why they stole. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know why they stole. They just did it. And I catch them and I ask them, what are you doing? You live in New York City. How do you not have the money for this? If you work in New York City, you have the money for this. They go. So then they pull out their wallet. They start handing me 20s. I'm like, no.
No, this ain't wallet. This ain't no bribe, bro.
Yeah, you're going to jail. Yeah. You're going to jail. You're gonna learn your lesson. Yeah. But it's like, I still can't come up.
He like, hey, look, I got enough money to give you, but I ain't got enough money to buy what the fuck I'm stealing.
Yeah, and I still, for the life of me, I can't figure out why you would steal if you have the money for it.
Oh man, look. Hey, look. Let's just say, growing up, I got the idea of, hey, let's just switch these price tags. I used to see my mom doing it, man. I used to say, look, hey, go over there and get the tag off that milk. We're gonna put it on this milk, and it worked. So, I mean, no judgment there, man.
Yeah, right.
But just just all out stealing the product.
No, because now you're putting your future, your entire future.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. And I have a job to do. I cannot help you.
Right.
My job is to prosecute you.
Right.
It's my job. It's how I go home and feed my family every night. Okay. It's by putting people like you in jail.
Okay, Rent-A-Cop, don't take it that serious.
It was fun. It was fun.
But nah, man, stealing is not worth it. It's, I mean, if you're gonna steal, man, just,
don't steal.
Yeah.
If you're gonna steal, don't steal. If you think about stealing, don't steal.
Even better way of putting it. That was a loss of words. But yeah, man, it's not worth it. And what Trump did, I think it was real. Real.
It was a second chance if you think about it.
Yeah, it was.
Because China's very unforgiving in their prisons.
China's very unforgiving. Matter of fact, in China, bro, I think he was looking at like 15 years, bro, just for stealing.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton glasses.
They're crazy in China.
So if Trump would never intervened, bro, he might have been in some shit.
Yeah. And not to mention, Trump was probably like, you know what, this is good for my image.
Right. Like I said, is he doing it because he wants to get his American back, or is he doing it because those articles of impeachment was just read by the Democrats against him?
Bro, Democrats at this point have absolutely no credibility.
You gotta understand, these guys like POTUS, you know what I mean? These guys, they have people around them, image people around to say, look, you might want to do this. This might look good for your image. They have, advisors for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So
go to China. You're cool with the Chinese president.
Or just do it for your
prime
image.
Minister.
Just do it for your image. Because right now, Trump, I don't know if you know, but you got articles of impeachment, getting ready to come out against you. Maybe you should go help LeAngelo Ball, and maybe that publicity will be positive.
That'll help. Yeah.
Now, apparently, a pilot was arrested for bringing a gun to work. And as far as we know, there was no other information regarding the incident. But I want everyone to consider this. Are you really safe while traveling, especially in the airport where the TSA failed to identify contraband 9 out of 10 times?
95% of TSA failed.
Wow.
That test was in the Washington Post.
That is crazy. So you're telling me 95 out of all the tests, 95% of the time the TSA have failed to detect contraband?
Yes, sir. So TSA failed to detect 95% of prohibited items in Minneapolis airport.
Okay.
Undercover federal agents successfully snuck drugs and explosives past security screeners at Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport last week.
No way.
According to the local Fox affiliate.
Wow.
The Transportation Security Administration conducted the test last Thursday by sending agents disguised as ordinary passengers into the airport in order to see if screeners were up to snuff, KMSP reported. The TSA Red Team attempted to smuggle 18 different items past airport security that should easily be detected, but prevailed almost every time. Now, I quote, "In most cases, they succeeded in getting the banned items through. 17 out of 18 tries by the undercover federal agents saw explosive materials, fake weapons, or drugs pass through TSA screening undetected," quote. KMSP reported, citing unnamed sources familiar with the operation. The security test was ultimately abandoned once the TSA's failure reached 95%.
Wait a minute. So So the government was sneaking bomb fluid and shit in?
Yes.
And they didn't find it?
No. They didn't find the damn thing.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy.
Bro, 95% failed.
So basically all this airport security is a joke.
It's a joke. They just tell you, oh, stand in here. Okay, come forward.
Well, there you have it, people. If you flying, I mean, be safe, especially with it being the holidays.
Be safe, man.
You definitely want to, make sure you and your family are safe during your travels, man. And I was fortunate enough to recently travel abroad. I went to Saudi Arabia, and I mean, the type of security over there actually scared me. It actually scared me.
I can imagine.
Because I went through security so fast that I could have snuck anything I wanted on the plane. Now, coming back to America would have been a different story, because when you come back to America, they seen you through all this different screening and stuff. However, they probably wouldn't have found it, considering Zombie just had 95% of contraband pass through.
Bro, 67 items out of 70 items were successfully passed through TSA screening.
Damn it. I knew I should have brought that cocaine from Saudi Arabia.
Right? You could put a little dime bag of cocaine on your nuts, tape them on your ball sack, and no one will know. Or if they do see it, they won't care.
But like I said, man, if you're in Saudi Arabia or, any of the Middle Eastern countries, from what I've, experienced, the security there is a joke, man. Like, you think this security bad? I guarantee you they probably fell 100% of the time.
Right?
Because the only thing, I went through like I got to wait in the line. I went through like a kiosk where they had, like the X-ray shit. So I went through that. And then, you got to take off your belt and then pass through all of that stuff. And then I think they wand you down with like one of the like the metal detector. Yeah. And then after that, that's it. You in the airport. So, you don't have anybody at the kiosk to make sure you're taking off rings and all that stuff. If you walk through in the buzz, you just say, oh, it's my ring. Take off the ring. They say, okay. And you good to go.
That's crazy. And it's funny because after 9/11, they made sure. The TSA made sure.
Oh, hold on. It gets even better. So, on my way back to, because I flew out of Miami, right?
Right.
So, I went from Miami to Saudi Arabia. So, on my way back from Saudi Arabia, actually, I flew out of Saudi Arabia and went to Turkey. So, on my way back from Turkey, what was odd to me was the pilot, instead of going south, to Miami, you go over the water and head south, he went west-north. So, he went to New York and then went south. So the whole time we flying over water, I'm like, why the fuck are we going towards New York, man? No bullshit. So I told my wife, I said, hey, order me some vodka or something, man. Order me some vodka, because if some shit about to go down, I need to be drunk. And when we passed, I think when we got out of New York and we passed Virginia, that's when I said, okay, cut me off from the liquor. I'm good. Because I was really scared, man. No bullshit. I was really scared.
I'd be terrified too. Shit.
Because like I said, all he had to do was go from Turkey to Miami, and it would have cut our flight time in half by like 50%. It would have shaved at least 3 hours off our flight time. So, like I said, I'm not a pilot, but I don't know for whatever reason why he decided to go from Turkey to New York and then from New York to Miami. Like, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy, man.
There's probably like waters that you're not allowed to fly over, like areas of the ocean. But the thing is,
you have the U.S. The thing Navy is, going from Miami to the Middle East, we went straight
there.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's odd.
Qatar Airways was nice, man.
Yeah.
Guys, if you never flew Qatar Airways, if you flying overseas and you want a nice airline that's up to speed with technology and comfortable and safe, I recommend Qatar Airways, man. Qatar Airways is fucking. It's like a private jet, man.
It's all that oil money.
Dude, yeah, yeah, man. I didn't know Qatar actually has the most millionaires. I think the country with the most millionaires or something like that.
Is it?
Yeah, but they also fund terrorism, so you got to be careful. So
a lot of countries in that region do.
But you could tell that they put their money where their mouth is. You could tell they got money, because when you get on that plane,
luxury and elevator music and everything.
The waitresses, straight models, man. Straight models, dime pieces, nothing but tens.
Is Qatar Persian or Arabian, sort of?
Qatar is, I think it's Arabian.
Yeah, the culture's Arabian.
Yeah, it's Arab. Yeah, Muslim.
Yeah.
So shout out to all my Muslim people out there.
Because I know Iran is like Persian style. If that makes any sense. It's like styles of the culture.
Well, I think. See, this is the thing with the Middle East. I think
Forgive me if I'm butchering.
You have a lot of different people from all over. Like for example, in Saudi Arabia, you might have a lot of Africans in Saudi Arabia, but the people are actually considered Saudis.
Yeah.
So some of the Africans are considered Saudis, but they're actually from Africa.
Right.
So it's kind of weird. So in Qatar, you might have half Persian, you might have half Arab.
Yeah.
So, but even the airport, when you walk into the airport, man, they got like this huge fucking, like, it's like a 200-foot TV. It's all crystals. It's not like a screen or like a flat screen. It's a crystal fucking, I've never seen nothing like that in my life, man. It's a crystal television. And inside the airport, they got a mall, and they got this big ass, I've never seen an airport like that, man.
Damn.
So if you flying overseas to the Middle East,
that's right next to the ocean. It's it's
right next to the ocean. Yep.
Yeah.
I recommend Qatar Airways.
Wow.
So on the DCF hospital. So apparently Zombie has a few words for St. Mary's Hospital. Now, if you don't know about St. Mary's is one of the top children's hospitals in the U.S., located in my hometown, West Palm Beach, Florida. Now, about 5 months ago, while visiting Palm Beach from New York, Zombie's kid had an accident, and he fell and broke his, his leg or arm? What did he break?
So I was playing with my son in the apartment, and he accidentally fell off the bed and hurt his arm. Okay. So I didn't think anything of it because, he stopped crying after a while. But then throughout the night, he showed a lot of discomfort. So, me and my wife, to be safe, we were like, let's just take him to the hospital. Mm-hmm. And we were told that St. Mary's Children's Hospital is, like you said, top of the line. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's go there, make sure everything's okay. And
it's a trauma hospital.
Yeah. So we get there, they're like, oh, okay, he has fracture. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's treat it and go. That's all I thought was going to happen.
Right.
But no,
okay, wait a minute. Did he have a fractured arm or a broken arm?
Fractured.
Okay, so it's not even that serious. Just like a sprain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we get there, we do everything. The doctor comes in, and he gets his X-ray. The doctor claims that there's something wrong with his clavicle, collarbone. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so we do an X-ray like the entire half of his body. Right. Meanwhile, this boy is screaming and kicking and crying, and he doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, he probably just a little nervous and scared.
There's one clear picture of his whole arm, and then there's another picture that's blurry. So like, oh, we got to do it again. Right. And I was like, I don't want to do it again. He was like, kicking and screaming. It was a nightmare. As a father, watching your son go through that is very unsettling. Especially if he's only a year old. So I'm like, you know what? We do it again. I'm holding him down. He's like screaming bloody murder. Daddy, pick me up. And it's very uncomfortable for us. So we finally get it done. There's nothing wrong with his clavicle. Obviously, I could have told him that. Mm-hmm. And they were like, okay. So they wrapped up his wrist because it was fractured, and they sent us on our way. 8 o'clock at night, DCF starts knocking on my door. I'm like, who the fuck? I answer the door in my boxers.
8 o'clock at night? The same
8
night?
8 o'clock at night. Same night. 8 o'clock at night. DCF agent.
What time did you get home from the hospital?
Like 6.
Damn, that's fast.
And they're accompanied by West Palm Beach police.
Right.
So they come here. They're telling us that they filed that St. Mary's filed a DCF case on us.
Wow.
Bro, when I heard that, I was beyond.
Before you go on, let me ask you something. Did you speak to them and ask them, is that standard procedure or,
I didn't, but they told us what the accusations are. Okay. So after they got done investigating, my apartment, they read me the accusations, and they pretty much said that I appeared to be under the influence and that I refused medical treatment.
Under the influence of what?
My fucking point exactly. And I told them, I said,
they just said a substance under the influence of some kind of mind-altering substance.
Yeah. Okay. I told them, I said, I fucking work at night. Like I work nights. Of course I'm going to look like I'm under the influence. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. Right. I come home from work and I don't even get to go to sleep. I got to take my son to the hospital. Right. So this case has been going on for over a month.
You got to be shitting me.
Over a month. And DCF has dragged us through broken glass.
Well, I can't speak on it because I wasn't there, but I mean, for them to say you're under the influence, you had. I mean, what the fuck were you doing, man?
So here's the thing, y'all, and this is just my opinion.
They're not gonna just say you were under the influence, just to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I said, how was I refusing medical treatment? You know, they're like, oh, when you were there, you refused. I said, I refused medical treatment. They have the X-rays as proof.
Right.
Okay, I had simply told them that my son is kicking and screaming and crying because he doesn't want to take a fucking X-ray. You know, but bro, so we catch a case. I wanted to go and get my son treated, and we catch a case, and bro, the rigorous process that DCF has put myself and my family through. I wanted so bad to get a lawyer. So bad to get a lawyer. But I'm like, you know what? I just want to get this done and over with. So I decided to use this platform as a means to warn people. Don't take your kids to St. Mary's Children's Hospital. Because you can't just go and get fucking treated. You have to fucking go and catch a case every single time somebody wants to take their kids there. It's fucking ridiculous, bro. Like, I'm a hardworking fucking father. If you can't see that through your stupid little fucking investigation, that all I want to do is just provide for my kids. I don't sleep at night. All I do is work, and you're gonna fucking invade my family's privacy like that?
Well, I think it was just a way for them to look out for your son. But I do think that's a little over the top. I mean, you go there for a fractured arm,
yeah,
and they end up causing another problem.
I go there.
I do think that's over the top. And
I go there to get treated.
Right.
I want treatment.
Right.
You know, and there are families out there who make absolutely no fucking effort to hide the fact that they abuse their children.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, you're gonna fucking investigate me, bro. They pretty much interrogated my wife. They said that first.
Wait a minute. You said your wife doesn't have to speak to them.
She did. Here's the thing. I had to get a drug test. I did my drug test. DCF sent my wife and my son had to be there too. They sent them to.
Did you do a drug test at the hospital?
No, I had to go to some private place to do a drug test.
Okay.
They sent my wife and son to this place to do an interview.
DCF is full of shit,
bro. Yeah, and then she was telling me that the questions they were asking her was like over the top. Like they were asking her questions. They were trying to make her contradict herself. You know, they were asking invasive questions. The doctor wanted to check out Jack. My son, his name is Jack. I wanted to check him out. And after she got done, she came out to the car and she looked really, really agitated. And I'm like, you know what? Next time they want to have an interview like this, there's going to be a lawyer present.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They can't legally interrogate you,
but
without your consent. So you don't have to speak to them because remember, mind you, DCF isn't law enforcement, so you don't have to speak to them.
Really?
No, they're not law enforcement. You don't have to speak to them.
So they told us that we just want to do this interview and get this case over with. I'm like, okay, cool. It sounds like you just want to get this over with. I'm sure it's going to be a couple minutes and bam. Bro, I was waiting in the parking lot for over an hour while these people, interviewed my wife. Yeah,
you should have had a lawyer present. By far.
But now I know that these people are full of shit.
Yeah, DCF is full of shit.
But I'm going to tell y'all.
They say that they have to come out and they have to investigate. But, I don't think their best interest is really for the kid. I think they're just out to make
They're out to break up families.
Yeah, to make your life a living
That's how I feel.
Or if it's not to break up families, just to put you around loops.
Yeah, bro. It's become such a huge burden on myself and my family.
That's crazy.
I personally feel attacked.
Yeah, that's wow.
And I go to St. Mary's expecting top of the line treatment,
right.
Yet I get top of the line bullshit.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to being black.
All right, I'm black in spirit, not in skin color.
Your wife's black.
Yeah. So for all you families out there, if your child got hurt on accident playing, my child got hurt accidentally from playing. Don't take him to St. Mary's, man, because you're gonna catch a case. I took my son to a bone doctor in Jupiter, Florida. I told him I made a joke with them. I said, please don't call DCF on us, and they made a joke. Oh no, we don't do that here. We just want to treat you. That's it. There's a bone doctor, and I forgot the name of it. I'll tell you guys about it next podcast. But
yeah, get people a recommendation.
Yeah, don't go to St. Mary's for treatment.
Yeah,
it's a children's hospital. Yeah, they say it's a children's hospital, but I'm just astounded, at the fact that I'm on a case for this long for potential child neglect or abuse.
If you're in the West Palm Beach, Florida area, instead of hitting up St. Mary's and catching the case, you can One of the other good hospitals in the area is Palms West. Palms West is a real good hospital.
Yeah, my first child was born in Palms West.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's a good hospital.
My little sister was born in Palms West.
Yeah, don't go to St. Mary's.
I'm a St. Mary's baby, by the way.
Well, the hospital you were born in is full of shit.
It was different back then.
Yeah,
I think it was better back then.
Probably, yeah, bro. It's like I don't understand. You know, like I personally feel like these are false accusations, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to prove that any somehow because they are immune from any sort of legal action if it was in good faith.
Right. Exactly. He's medical.
Yeah, but
I think it's a Good Samaritan Act or some shit.
I personally feel like I displayed absolutely no, it was
just the fact. I mean, I understand that they're concerned, but it's just the fact of how they went about it.
Yeah,
is what baffles me.
You know what I think about it all is? I think about it. It's all a gamble. All right, yeah, you're trying to protect children. I get it, but if you're wrong, you should be held accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get you're trying to, rescue kids and stuff like that, and there are families that abuse their children. So stop wasting your fucking time on me, who I displayed absolutely no fucking contempt for my children being neglected or abused. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you're a good father, Zombie.
There are people, like I said, there are people who make no effort to hide the fact they abuse their children.
Right. Yeah.
There are parents who beat the shit out of their kids in public. You know what I'm saying? But you're coming after me because I looked like I was fucking high?
I remember when I was...
Stupid fucks!
I remember when I was 15 and my mom told me to do something and I didn't do it. And she got off the phone and she threw the phone at me. And I ran out of the house because I was so scared of the lady. And apparently there was a white lady in the hallway. And she was like, "Oh my God, I'm calling the police." I was like, "No, lady, what the fuck are you doing? No." Now I'm going to get beat the fuck up. No. So anyway, she calls the cops on my mother. And, they outside questioned my mother. And, after the incident was over, it was even worse for me.
Yeah, and I didn't even tell them. I mean, if I really...
But at the time, my mom worked for DCF, so they basically came and they asked like 2 or 3, 4 questions, and they fucking left.
Yeah.
So I knew I was in for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, but you know what? It's like, if I was abusing my child, do you really fucking think I'd take him to a hospital? Right. Come on, man.
You'd be surprised, man. Be surprised.
Only idiots.
But your kid, and I've met your kids. They're very well mannered kids. They don't have any, they don't give off any vibe of a child that's being abused. Yeah. So I don't even know why St. Mary's would come to that conclusion.
My son is always happy. He always wants to play. He always wants to, he runs to me. And I take this as a personal, I take it extremely personal, a personal attack on myself and my family. So if I can't, do anything legal, I'm using this platform to tell everybody right now, don't go to St. Mary's. Don't go to St. Mary's. Don't bring your kids to St. Mary's because you're going to catch a case. You're going to catch a case. Accidents can't happen with St. Mary's. And if accidents do happen, there's nothing you could do about it if they decide to report you. No one is ever going to be held accountable. No one is ever going to say, okay, you know what? Stop calling DCF on every fucking family that brings in their hurt child.
Right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Stir It Up podcast. Thank y'all for listening. I am DJ Poison.
And I am Zombie.
And next episode, I'm actually going to implement a new segment. We're going to implement something called the Email of the Week. So, again, you guys can email us at thestirituppodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's thestirituppodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up. Send us your emails, and we'll try to answer them to the best of our knowledge.
Peace.